Well, hello, everybody. My name is Bill O'Leary, and I am coming to you live. And I'm going to be talking about a topic that I run into in my law practice. I do estate planning, elder law, and probate. And I'm giving this talk as part of a weekly series we call our the Thirsty Thursday series. So if you're thirsting for knowledge and information, you've come to the right place. Again, as I say, we do estate planning, probate, elder law, just focus on those areas. Firm Legacy Planning Law Group in Jacksonville, Florida. So, what I want to talk about today, it actually came up about a week ago in a conversation I was having with a client that sort of piqued my interest in wanting to talk about this, and that is online accounts and how they can be sort of incorporated into your estate planning and some frequently asked questions. So, first of all, no question, when doing your estate planning, there are a lot of questions to think about that eventuality for when you die or become incapacitated. Good estate planning. But certainly, while focusing on traditional assets, real estate, and cash and financial accounts and so forth, also being mindful of your digital assets and online accounts is very important. So I want to talk about some commonly asked questions, issues that are raised, some key takeaways regarding online accounts and estate planning. First, what's going to happen to your online accounts? What do I mean? Things like social media, maybe email, online banking, digital music files. Well, the answer is going to depend. Now, you might find it interesting to learn that an executor of an estate, they don't automatically have access to all of a deceased person's online accounts. In many states, Florida included, the deceased person must have taken action before they died to actually give the executor that kind of access to those online accounts. And according to a new law adopted probably over the past 10 years by a lot of states, again, Florida included, that access can be granted either as part of the original setup of the account, or that authority can be granted in the deceased person's will. So now, understand this: without the deceased person taking one of these actions before they died, either setting up the account correctly or putting some important legal language in their will, the executor is not going to have access to those online accounts or electronic communications. Now, let's say that the account wasn't set up that way, there's nothing in the deceased person's will. Maybe a fallback is the terms of service agreement that applies to the account, that long list of legalese that you never read and you just click accept at the end. Well, that's called the terms of service. They might grant a family member access. Don't count on it. Very, very unusual. Now, what about passwords? What about just sort of not worrying it, just sort of keeping a password list and making sure that you share it with your family members after you pass away? Well, first, password lists can become outdated very quickly. How often are you asked to update your password, and you may forget to include it in your master password list? So the question is it a good idea? Does it work to rely on a password list? Well, to the surprise of a lot of people, it doesn't. First of all, get this: there are federal laws in place that make it a crime to use someone's password to access an online account. Yes, you heard that right, a crime. Plus, it's becoming increasingly difficult to use someone else's passwords. There's something called IP authentication. That's where, if somebody is trying to access by using a password, access, let's say, an account or a platform from a different computer, different from the one that the deceased person had used, well, each computer has a specific IP address. Well, they know if you're trying to access that account from a different computer, and then they will shut you down. Also, the very widespread use these days of what's called two-factor authentication. So it's that sometimes frustrating thing where a code's got to be sent to your phone and that sort of thing. Well, good luck trying to use your phone to get through that two-factor authentication barrier when it was the deceased person that was doing that two-factor authentication while they were living. It was coming to their phone. And then finally, it's not going to be that much longer before we will find out we are not going to be using passwords much anymore. But even today, increasing use of facial recognition, biometric recognition, and it's interesting. And this is what sort of piqued my interest to talk about this today. I was talking to a client just again in the past week, and learned that he is pretty high up working in the cybersecurity department at a very large national bank. And so we're talking about passwords, and I said, yeah, it's my understanding from what I've read, passwords at some point are going to go the way of the dodo bird. And I asked him, what do you think? Maybe 5 years? He said, oh, it's going to be a lot sooner than that. It is moving very, very fast. Now, what if you don't want anybody to have access to, let's say, your social media or other online accounts once you die or become disabled? You want to sort of prevent family members from accessing it. Well, make sure that your will, as well as your financial power of attorney, specifically prohibit access to your social media and online accounts. So you can specifically list accounts that you would like to remain off limits or inaccessible. And if the provider of the account allows the user to activate an account setting to prohibit the release of your account when you die, make sure that you create that setting, okay? And then a quick word about becoming incapacitated. So I focused a lot of this talk on what happens after you die. But what if you're in declining health, you're still living, you become incapacitated? How can your loved ones access your online accounts if you have declining health? So this now will focus on the financial power of attorney, the durable power of attorney. Make sure it specifically authorizes your legal representative, your agent or attorney in fact, sometimes it's called, under that power of attorney, to give them access to your digital property, including things like, again, online accounts, maybe electronic communications. And if the online account provider allows a user to activate an account setting while they're still alive and still healthy, activate that setting to direct their provider to release that digital property to that legal representative, then that's a good thing. Sometimes these are called online tools. So something you may want to look into. Hey, do you want to learn a little bit more? Well, if you do, we would love to talk to you about digital assets, online accounts, how to incorporate them into your estate planning. And so to get that process started, we would invite you to schedule a free 15, 20-minute phone call with our team. We call it our discovery call because it's a way for sort of us to discover you and what your needs and concerns are. You discover us and what we can do, and we can see whether we're a good fit with each other. And scheduling this call is really, really easy. So one way, just go to our website, Legacy Planning Law Group, click on the Book Your Free Call a button that appears on every page, several times on each page of the website. And click on it, takes you to a scheduler. Pick a day and time that works for you. Or the other way, if you are now seeing this video on YouTube, appearing at the bottom of this video now is a box. Click on it, and it takes you to the same booking calendar. Pick a day and time that works for you. By the way, if you've enjoyed this video, do like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to that YouTube channel I was mentioning, Legacy Planning Law Group. We have a lot of video content. We're putting up new, fresh content all the time. So I hope you've enjoyed this talk about how to incorporate online accounts into your estate planning, digital assets. I'm going to give another talk next Thursday at about the same time. So it's going to be a different day, week from today, but the same goal, to quench your thirst. So Bill O'Leary, I'm going to sign off for now on behalf of everybody here at my Team Legacy, we like to call ourselves. Go make it a great day and a better world.